So I think I put the chia seeds on too densely. So like the next time I do it, I won't put as many on because like, you know, some of them didn't sprout or they're like getting pushed up by the other ones. And then I have to figure out a better way to get the ones on the back here to sprout because you fill it up with water, but the water soaks down through the terracotta. And so like the stuff up here doesn't get as much water. So I don't know if I need to spray it but my first attempt.
He's great.
Yeah, he's fun.
You know, I did not visualize that correctly when you said it. I thought the chia seeds would be like his hair, like his visage, not his vessel. And but I think that's cuter. I think it's more successful that way. I'm glad they
and I was very happy. Like his face is super cute. He looks like little Yoda. He looks like the child in a Mandalorian. So I was like, yes, you're just so cute, even when there aren't any chias on you. Cheers.
I ran out of green tea, but I was desperately looking for something, a little pick me up, and couldn't find any tea. So then I threw in a rooibos tea, and the bag exploded in the cup. And then I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna make a chai, and it was the right choice.
Oh, good. Yeah, I ran out of, so I can only drink decaf coffee now. I've realized, like, I made like a half calf coffee the other week when I was trying to, I had been up really late and then I had an organic chemistry quiz and I got up early to, you know, refresh and study some more and was like, oh, well, since I was up so late, maybe I'll make like a half calf coffee this morning. And I was like, shaking for like the rest of the day. Yeah, I was like, am I gonna pass out? Like, what is happening? And I was like, I just cannot, like, caffeine cannot be a part of my life anymore, I guess.
You fully detox. Congratulations.
Yeah, went from a triple shot latte to cannot handle an ounce of caffeine. Or I guess whatever the minimal amount is in decaf coffee.
Yeah. Can you do how do you feel about teas?
I drink decaf teas or herbal teas mostly. So I do a decaf Lady Grey. PG Tibbs is my new favorite, the decaf, or an herbal tea.
And you don't, because I do love a coffee. I like a lot of coffee, but I feel like a black tea gets me more jacked than a coffee. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what my body thinks is happening, but it's just like, yeah, when I drink a black tea. So I've got a fully caffeinated black tea in here.
We're going to get crazy today.
Let's set this. I want to set it down somewhere where it doesn't keep like making a boom sound, but then it's precarious. Hi, I'm Coco.
I'm Marika, and we are
two friends who like to knit. And we're going to talk about it on this knitting podcast. This is called Knits All Right, and I'm in Los Angeles.
And I'm in Albuquerque.
And I might have done that out of order because I don't know what goes next, but let's go to the knits.
Yeah. So any finished objects this go around?
Zero finished objects.
Me too. I was
wearing. This is the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose or Hirose or something like that. Hirose. It is knit out of Shibui fern, which is a cotton, and held together with Mohair from Long Dog Yarns. So it's a lavender mohair over kind of like a sandy color white. And it's like my perfect favorite combination. I love it so much. So anyways, I
I'm
wear
wearing
it
an
a
old,
lot. I don't know how many times I've worn it on the podcast. I wear it a ton.
yeah. When you made that, you were like, this will be like one of the pieces I wear the most of anything I've made. And I think that's very true.
True to form.
But it's a good staple.
Yeah. And just a little bit of warmth, but basically just air. So
Yeah. Yeah, I am wearing an old finished object as well.
We've never seen it on you.
I'm wearing the Lydia 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
So this was made out of Purl Soho Mulberry Merino.
And kind
Some
of an
green
evergreen
color. Again, it was like a Purl Soho warehouse clearance thing. So it didn't have a tag, so I do not know the exact colorway. But I love the kind of like mossy forest green color. So yeah, now that it's like, it was 91 degrees here yesterday. So it's like, even though it's wool, it's, you know, sleeveless and it's basically a tank top. So it's time to whip out the 2 summer knits I have.
This is great though. I've never seen you wear it. What did you think of when it blocked out and everything? You literally finished it, blocked it, and then you put it away, and I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think I wore it once, and it wasn't the right outfit. I hadn't figured out how to wear it yet. I'm not sure if this is the outfit either. I've got these like ivory corduroys and then this, so I was like, maybe it'll go. But
You know, when I think 90-degree weather,
corduroys and wool, yeah.
not my go-to.
Well, yeah, so I'm trying, like, I need a summer wardrobe. I feel like I haven't really invested in one in a while, and so maybe this weekend with all of the Memorial Day sales that are happening, I might go see if I can find some like cotton and linen, and you know, get some summer stuff going.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this like 2 summers ago, and you were like, I don't have a summer wardrobe.
Yeah.
And then you lived for a full year in Los Angeles and another summer in Los Angeles, and you still did not have a summer wardrobe.
Yeah. I had a summer wardrobe in North Carolina, but the humidity like really necessitates that. Like the humidity is like, you just can't, you can barely wear clothes.
Yeah.
Like, you just need a hint of clothing in the North Carolina summer. But in the desert, for some reason, I guess since I grew up there, I'm like, a dry heat, I can tolerate a pretty high temp in a dry heat.
Clearly, corduroy and wool together.
Yeah.
I grew up in Georgia, so I understand exactly what Marika's talking about, and I have no tolerance. I just can't stand heat anywhere, anytime. Doesn't matter. Dry, wet, doesn't matter. So I do have a summer wardrobe. I barely have a winter wardrobe.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it did. I don't know. I'm still iffy about it. I feel like I'm wanted it to block out a little more, like it doesn't hang as much as I wanted it to. It kind of like comes back in at the waist, and I wanted it to be a little looser, which could also be just the results of like the COVID weight gain kind of thing.
Yeah, because you finished it like how long ago?
Probably like 2 years ago, because I think I finished it when I went on the plane ride on the way to Scotland.
Yes. Okay, that was about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then it's definitely, you know, it's a crop, and I knew it was going to be a crop, but I just don't quite have. Again, I'm still trying to figure out how to work it into my wardrobe, or what I need to get to make it function better in my wardrobe. So. And also, you know, this is still probably like, I made this in the first year I think I was knitting, and so I wasn't thinking through projects, I think, as well as I am now, in terms of like, oh, I really love this, but how is it going to function? You know, and so I feel like a lot of the pieces I made the first year I was knitting, they were really fun to make, and I really love how they turned out, but I just can't I just haven't figured out ways to wear them yet, because there wasn't an intention beyond like, oh, I like this looks fun.
Yeah. And this one was probably, you were just trying to solve, what can I make with this yarn?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because that, again, I was like, since I was a new knitter, I was like, oh my God, this yarn is beautiful, I must have it. And then didn't think beyond that again. So I think definitely I've gotten a lot better about purchasing yarns and picking projects that, you know, I know what to do with as soon as they're done.
Yeah. So no finished objects, but that's a finished object to me.
Mm. So,
Shall we move on?
yeah, works in progress.
We did it at the same time. I have only a few, and they're not, I don't think, well, let's not judge. I'm trying hard not to be my own critic. So up first, just small little guy.
Hmm.
I am working on this little sock. So I had it.
That's the owl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had it down to this point before, and then I ripped it all out because my stitch count after the gusset got all crazy. And I decided that I think my socks have been a little too loose. Maybe I need to start with less stitches. I've been starting with 64, and I'm not sure. My problem is I've got wider calves, and then I'm not sure how to, I'm not going to say my feet are small. They are wide. So I would think this would work, but they just feel a little too loose. Maybe it's only a couple of stitches. But anyway, so this time I tried to do a 3x1 rib, and possibly more work than I think it's worth. But I'm going to keep going because we're already here and we're just going to go.
I love those colors though. They're so good. Like when I was editing, I think the episode I edited, you would just introduce these, and during that section, I was like, "Oh, those are so good."
I just love how woodsy they are. Like they're so much fun. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to keep going, and probably should finish this one soon, and then we're going to really try hard to cast on the next one and just keep the momentum going, so that they don't sit around for too long. Mm-hmm. But the 3x1 rib is kind of, I wasn't sure if I should. So here I did stockinette just to get through this, the section where you're decreasing. Mm-hmm. And then I was going to start the 3x1 rib to match the top. And now I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea to have it on the bottom of the foot. But it doesn't matter. I'm doing it. Just going to keep going. And we'll see how it goes. And if I don't like it on the first one, then I won't do it on the second one. And since it's the bottom of my foot, I'm not going to care.
Yeah, no one's ever going to see it.
So these guys, cool color. I love, it's very like when the new stripe comes up, I'm like, ooh. But I'm not sure about the 3x1 rib. It annoys me. I think it's the odd number. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, that's those. What do you got?
So my work in progress is I can never remember the name. Hold on. I always want to call it the cozy, comfy sweater, but it's called the chillin' out sweater by Irene. So I was hoping it would be a finished object, but this is where we're at.
Oh my God. Oh, it looks so good.
So what happened is I wanted it to be kind of like a tunic, almost a tunic length sweater, but like, pretty longer, like to come basically like to the base of my hip, essentially. Right. And so when I was trying it on, I had to add like 2.5 inches to the length of the sweater and I think I probably could have gone even longer, but I'm hoping when I block it out, I only need like 1/4 to 1/2 inch more. So I was thinking like when I block it out, hopefully I can get that extra length.
Yeah, they do say broken rib kind of elongates more than a stockinette would.
Okay, that would be amazing. Cause like if it goes longer, that's totally cool. I would be totally fine with that. But because I did that, I made a size large, and it calls for 8 balls of the Feeling Good Wool in the Game yarn in this main color, which I did in mineral pink. And I had 8 balls. So adding that extra length got me to here.
Oh, you're gonna have to buy more.
So I had to buy 1 more ball of yarn, which I ordered this week. And then I also, while I was on the website, I was like, well, I'll just see what else they have. So I bought, they had this yarn that was made out of tencel, which I've got some dresses and stuff that are made out of tencel, and I really like it. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just buy 1 ball to see. And again, I don't know what it is, why I think this is a summer color for me, but I was like, it's in this like same mossy green color. And then they had another baby alpaca that was in this like beautiful kind of like purple red color. And so I just bought 1 ball of that. And so we'll see what happens.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully this will come in this week. And then, yeah, I just have to finish the sleeve and then we'll be good to go. It's got like a little split hem down here. I did make this cuff a little longer here because what I wanted it to do was like wear it a little higher on the wrist and then have a little more of a poof in the sleeve above it.
Cute.
But yeah, so yeah, really happy with how it came out. And yeah, it'll be fun.
You have been chugging on that.
Well, it's really nice because it's like, you know, it's enough because every row's not exactly the same. It like really keeps my attention, keeps me paying attention and keeps me motivated.
Yeah, it's kind of like doing a stripe without a stripe.
Yeah.
I totally want to just do that too. Like that exact one, although in a not as hot yarn.
Yeah,
and it's made like alpaca or
it's alpaca, mohair, and nylon, I think, is the combo of stuff, but the bulk component is alpaca.
That sounds hot.
Yeah, it's definitely very thick, very cushy. So yeah, it's definitely going to be, when fall rolls around again, it'll be really good.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you've done so much. I mean, usually Marika and I talk to each other throughout the week, and I get to kind of preview like how she's doing, where she's going on projects. And that one, we have not had a chance to talk. Pretty much knitting, pretty much since our last recording.
Yeah.
And it's like that. To me, it feels like that's the fastest sweater I've ever seen you make because of any updates.
It feels that way too, and I'm like, oh wow, like this came together pretty quick. So
I'm so excited. It's gonna look great in your wardrobe. It's like it's got your little tennis vibes. It's so good.
I know. Now I'm thinking like I have so this blue color, I have 7 more balls of it. So I'm like, do I just make this again in blue and then figure out another contrasting color?
Maybe.
We'll see how it wears. Maybe I'll find something else for the blue.
I mean, if you love it, definitely make another one. So similar, Marika and I ended up doing the exact same stitch pattern in 2 different projects. So I'm doing the Friday Tee by Petite Knit, and I'm doing it in some reclaimed yarn that I pulled out a thrift store sweater, and it was from the Gap, and it is 100% cotton. And so I am doing this guy. I can never tell what the front and the back are.
I'm really amazed at how well the black stripe stands out. Like when you told me, you were like, oh, I'm going to do this with a black stripe. I was like, are we even going to see it?
I tested it with a white stripe and a black stripe, and the black definitely came through more than the white one did, which was, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Shove it over my head. So I've had to knit this twice since I've had to knit this one twice since I started it, because the first time it's kind of all bunched up, so I'm not going to stretch it out too much. But the first time the neck was huge. I tried to knit it on a 2 for the ribbing and then a 3 for the body, and that's not what they recommend, and it did not work out. So I ended up having to do a 1 for the rib and then a 2 for the body, which sounds crazy, but actually it's pretty easy. Like, it's pretty easy in the hand. It's not growing as quickly as I was hoping it would, but you know, that's just the way it's going to be. But I feel like for the first time ever, I've properly achieved a crew neck. And because it's cotton, like, it still stretches enough to get around, but then it comes back and like it makes that little crew neck. And I'm so happy with how that turned out.
Yeah.
If I back up, it's a little bit easier on the eyes.
But yeah, there's a lot of like moire happening. The camera's like, I don't know what to do with this.
It is very busy. But in person, like, I love it so much because I love marled yarn and black and white, basically. So I'm super excited. And again, because it's so busy, it's helping me as the maker. It's probably hurting you as the viewer, but it's hiding a lot of problems that I had in the short rows on the back, because you're doing stripes and it's broken rib, which you can't see because of the body, but it's broken rib. And so in the short rows, I had to do them twice because I got through the short rows when I realized the neck was huge. So when I ripped it all back out and redid it, I got a second chance at the short rows, and I still was like, I don't know if this is right. I don't know what I'm doing. I tried really hard to like read the instructions clearly and just kind of do what she said. And by the end of it, I was like, thank God it's a busy thing, because who knows if I was on the right side or the wrong side purling properly. So it's a mess back there, but I've got long hair and the yarn is very noisy, so we're all right. But I really think I would knit it again, even though I'm not done, because what you can't see because of the thing is that there are these really strong stripes, bars that come down here, and you'll see it when I put the photo up. But there's really strong bars here that are such a like interesting feature on the raglan. Like, it's so hefty. It's such a hefty like raglan strap, basically. And I just love it. I don't know why. I love it so much. And I like the little stripe not every other round, but you know, because like we were saying, you're doing one purl row and then a knit and purl row. Then you're adding like these stripes in every couple. I won't tell you, but I mean, whatever, you could count it. But I had to count it because I wasn't sure. She doesn't tell you kind of up. Maybe she does. I don't know. But I had to look at her photo and count them, because I was like, I don't understand what I'm doing. So it, you know, whatever. But because you're doing all of that, it does keep it like you just keep going. You just keep chugging. So
nice. Yeah, no, it looks great. I'm like, I should make one now.
You should. It is great. We struggle with petite knit patterns.
Yeah, I was so like, after I've knit 2 of her patterns, and I'm just a little gun shy now to go back to any other ones, even though I love the look of everything she designs. Oh my God. Like, if I could knit everything she has, I'd be like, perfect. We're in business. But I'm just so scared of another balloon cardigan incident.
What was the other one that you did? You said
I did the Oslo hat.
Oh, yes.
And then I was like, it was my own fault because I didn't fully understand the construction of the hat. So since I was using 2 colors, I put the contrasting color the first time I knit it on the inside of the hat, so you'd never see it. So it was like, what was the point of using it?
Yes. So
then I had to go back and rearrange that one.
And this is my second one of her. The first one was the summer tea, which one, I wasn't, I was going to say, like, I was new to knitting, but let's be honest, I don't read patterns well. I just want to go. I want to keep going, and I miss key information all the time. So I'm not going to put that on her. But, she also doesn't make it very obvious, It's like,
Yeah, we had talked about this with like a lot of Scandinavian designers, and that there's kind of like a base knowledge, an assumption of a base knowledge that and base understanding that we didn't possess.
yeah.
And maybe still don't possess.
Maybe. And when you combine it with like, I just want to be like, yeah, over top of whatever they're saying, it's a recipe for a disaster. So my summer tea, I like the outcome, but I felt like it was a struggle, and the yarn I chose was difficult to work with. And then this one, once I got past the short rows, it's clear. Like, I understand what we're doing now because I got a couple more raglan sweaters under my belt that helped me understand what's going on. But the short rows were the part where I was like, oh yes, this feels like doing one of her patterns again. So, but I love it. I love it so much. And I feel like once I get it down, maybe I'll be able to graduate into a yarn where it'll be more obvious what the pattern is. And it'll be my third time doing the short rows. And maybe by then I'll be like, okay, I see and I can do it correctly.
And I'm sorry, I'm just now thinking too, I'm like, oh, what if I reuse what I had made the balloon cardigan out to make this shirt and find a contrasting stripe? So it'd be kind of like a fuzzy t-shirt.
I don't know. It's made for fingering weight yarn.
Okay.
And I don't know what your balloon cardigan is.
I think it says it's a DK, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't look like a DK to me.
You could, just knit it on small needles, and you could make it work, because I don't really know what this recycled yarn is weight wise. Like, at first I thought it was a fingering, but then my neck ended up crazy big, and but I did it at the wrong needle size then. But it was so big, it was like just probably other problems. But then I am now knitting at the recommended needle size, or half a step down. Like, I think they say a 2.5, and I think I'm just knitting on a 2, and it seems fine.
Okay. Yeah, I can always swatch and see what happens.
Oh my gosh, you could swatch.
But I've only been knitting on like size 8 and 9 needles, and so like the thought of having to go back to like a 2, I'm like, oh god, my poor hands.
Okay, so that's it for that one. What have you got next?
It's kind of a work in progress. So I have my like half done swatch for the Bouquet sweater that we're supposed to start on Monday.
Oh yeah.
Or Tuesday.
It's already June. I didn't think this day would come, and here it is.
I know. So I'll show you what I have. So the last podcast we posted, we had talked about what color am I going to use. So I think I'm going to go with the Hayloft. So here's where we're at with my little swatch.
This feels right.
Yeah. So this is the Hayloft, Brooklyn Tweed. What's this one? Do you remember what this one's? It's not Loft, it's the other one. Shelter. Brooklyn Tweed Shelter and Hayloft. And then the Berroco, I've left all my tags in the other room, but it's a Berroco Ultra Alpaca, I think, in this blue color, and then the Hedgehog feather in ink, I think. So it's hard to see the feather currently. Maybe if I get it, angle it a little bit. You can see it a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks super messy. But I kind of like the fuzzy effect of it. And I think what I might need to do is go through in the actual sweater and then maybe clip some of the feathers that come in the middle of these, just so that you read this pattern cleaner. So, go through and kind of like remove some of the feathers in there, but then keep the rest of it fuzzy. But I am really liking the look of it, the feather and the alpaca together. It's a lot to manage, but yeah, and I think I have to double check my measurements, but I'm very close to gauge on this. So I think this is going to be the winning combo.
Great.
Now all I have to do is finish untangling the skein of feather. So I'll have some more to knit. This is what I've been able to untangle so far.
I did not keep my swatch, and I'm gonna have to restart it anyways.
Oh my God, I love it.
This is mildly pointless to show you. It's kind of funny. Again, I did not plan. One, I found this yarn at a thrift store. So I did not plan to go straight into this, but I am. So I don't think you can really even see anything, but I'm going to be pairing this it's called Railroad. It's a black and white marl kind of speckled yarn. And then this, it's like an apple green. So I don't think I think I pulled out my swatch. These two colors is what I'm going to do mine in.
It's going to be so good.
So this is West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft Shetland Tweed in Railsboro is what this was called. And then this one is a Malabrigo yarn in a green apple colorway. I don't think I kept the tag. So I had started it, then I stole the needles for something else. And now I'm just gonna I'm gonna pull this out and redo it so that I can, because I think I wasn't happy with the neck. I think I shorted the ribbing. So
yeah, my thing too is with the feather, I wasn't sure, should I do the neck straight and then start the feather at the base of kind of the neck ribbing? Or should it be all fuzzy from the beginning?
I think it should be all fuzzy from the beginning.
Okay.
Unless you're not going to want it next to your skin, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, these don't really have much of a feel to them, the feathers, which is nice. There aren't any rough edges, and they're soft enough that they're not going to poke you,
Yeah. I mean, part of my reasoning is you'll, since it's such a dark yarn, you're pretty much only going to be able to see that it's fuzzy when you're on the outline of your body. And then if it's up here around your neck and you see that it's fuzzy there, you're going to be like, oh, she's wearing a fuzzy sweater. So I can't wait. I'm excited to see what this thing is going to turn out like, and the process.
Yeah.
It's already starting off a little, because you've got to pull all that stuff all apart.
Oh yeah. I've been making slow progress. If anyone has any, I don't have a Swift. Is that what it's called?
You don't have either one, a Swift or a winder.
Yeah, I don't have either. So usually what I do is I put it I'll unroll the skein, I'll put it across my knees, and then I'll wind it on a toilet paper roll. But with the feather, didn't really come in a clean, it was only attached in one spot. Normally you have 4 places that the skein is kind of secured, so that when you unwrap it, it's very clear where the center loop is that you can work from. The feather was only secured in one spot, and so through its twisting and sitting on a shelf and shipping, and all the feathers had intertwined, and so I couldn't get that center loop. So it's kind of just a giant rat's nest that I've been slowly untangling and unwinding and weaving and to get out. And also I don't want to pull on it too hard, because I don't want to tear all the feathers out of it, because then it's useless. So it's been a process. So anyone has any recommendations, I very much welcome them, because I am still only working on the first skein. There is a second one that will also need to be wound. So,
and because of that, like it would have been a problem even if you had a Swift and winder. That.
But I think, I could have worked it a little better, and then, if I was able to get it on the Swift and winder, or at least work slowly to kind of get it aligned on the Swift, whereas now it's hanging over the top of my bedside lamp that has like an arm on it that goes out, and so it's just kind of like tossed over that, and then I can kind of work it that way.
Hey, well, you had a birthday, so guess what you're gonna get? Because I can't listen to you do this anymore. At first I thought like, oh, maybe you don't have one because of like, oh, you want space or something like that. And now I just say no, this cannot stand anymore. I can't watch it happen. We shall be getting you one.
Okay.
Because this is painful to watch. I've got one more work in progress, and it's not much to speak of, but I'm doing that half and half triangle wrap. I'm doing it in the leftover yarn from my silpula that I'm gonna rip out the silpula, and I'm gonna use the rest of this pink yarn in this guy. And then I think I'm gonna purchase the Purl Soho linen quill in a color called Nutmeg for the other half. It's kind of like a warm caramel color. So it'll be, a warm brown and then this pink. I did the short rows wrong and had to rip it out. I had like this much, and then
because I was like, this looks about where it was at last time.
Yep. So I was doing the short rows wrong, and I had to watch the caddy, because I was watching the angle, and I was like, this angle just does not look right. I don't know much about geometry, but I know that this angle is not right. And so I watched the Caddy Jack's tutorial on how she was doing her German short road version, and I was like, yep, did it wrong. So ripped it out, and now I'm going back, and this is a great last thing to knit before you go to bed. Knit, where you're like, I could pass out in the middle of knitting and nothing is going to happen. Nothing, everything's fixable. There's no problem. I mean, except if you do the short rows wrong. That's the only thing that's a problem. But other than that, I'm like, this is what I keep next to my bed, and I knit when I'm, when you're staying awake for like 30 minutes longer than you should. I'm like, all right, we'll do this guy. I can't even do the sock because the sock has that one, 3x1 purl, and if I miss the purl, I'm like, I gotta go back. But that one's just knitting, so I think it's good for that. And we're gonna get through some big yarn.
Nice.
Big yarn stash.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that you thought that this green was your summer color, because I've got that tank top that I was doing in the green, and then I've got the Bolin tee that's also in the green, both summer. So I totally feel you on like, maybe hunter green is summer.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'm just like, every time I see that like color, I'm like, oh yeah, t-shirt, tank top, like never thinking of it as like a full sweater.
Right. But I've got one store-bought J. Crew sweater, that's a turtleneck in a deep green, and I love that sweater. I wear it all the time during the winter. So maybe it's just a year-round color.
Yeah, it's just a good staple. Like it kind of goes with everything. You can wear it with black, white, pink, brown, it kind of goes with whatever it needs to.
Yeah, definite neutral. Okay, that's really.
All right, well.
So, cheers. Happy knitting, everybody.
Happy knitting.